Hey, Book Baddie.
Welcome to the Bound to Be Bad podcast.
A book club podcast where we discuss one book a season from the perspective of someone who's never read the book before.
And from the perspective of someone who has. This season, we are so excited to be reading Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros with you.
I'm Cierra. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm the wing leader.
And I'm Casper. My pronouns are they, she, and I'm the first-year cadet.
We aim to rave and rant about anything and everything that comes to mind while reading. But please note, this podcast will be discussing book spoilers as we talk about each week's chapters.
As this will be my first time reading, spoilers for anything beyond the already read material is not fair game. In this instance, anything beyond Fourth Wing.
This podcast is run by adults who will most likely be using adult language and talking about adult themes, so please be aware of your surroundings while listening.
These thoughts and opinions are expressly our own and by no means reflect those of the original author. Reading is a privilege. Books are art, and art is subjective.
That being said, we'd love for you to read along with us and share your thoughts and opinions as well.
So, without further ado, prepare to enter Basgayath War College.
Real quick, let's talk about how this conversation is about to go down. First and foremost, in this episode, we will be going over death and the loss of a loved one. If this topic is too much for you today, please prioritize yourself and skip this episode. We understand, we see you, love, and appreciate you. Come back on a better day or for a different episode. Second, we'll go over our newest or latest hyperfixations. This is, after all, my excuse to catch up with my bestie and force them to obsess over my obsessions too. Then, Casper will provide a summary of chapters 38 and 39. I did not copy that over very well. We'll give our brief general overall thoughts before diving into each chapter individually. Then we'll discuss our favorite quotes or moments and any predictions for the rest of the series, because if we haven't made it clear yet, this is the end, folks.
It's the last chapters.
Finally, we've got a fun little section where we've each picked a song to dedicate to each chapter. Songs that we'll compile into a public playlist that we'll update weekly for you, our fellow book baddies. Got it? Good.
Good.
So if you are watching the YouTube version of this episode, we may look exactly the same as we did in part 1. That's because we went directly into this recording after that.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. What's new with you that maybe wasn't stated in the previous episode?
I had a birthday recently, and my bestie got me this really cute little Andarna.
It's not wooden like Liam can do, but
That's okay. She's so cute, and she shimmers. I don't know if you can tell. She's so sparkly.
I love her. I have a matching one that is already up there on my bookcase.
Yeah, I see her.
But I gave her purple headphones because I correlate you with green and me with purple for notes and stuff. So
Yeah, I love that. I have her sitting on my desk, and I have her right next to my other little tiny dragon that I have.
What's your dragon holding?
It's just, it's like a pearl or something. Some sort of mystical ball.
I love that. Those were good ones. My recent readings that I finished, so I had started The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. Again, I tapped the ever-loving crap out of it. I think this was the 4-star. There was just some like editing stuff that kind of took me out of it, and I was able to predict a lot of it, but it was because she laid the Easter eggs well, and I was able to track the Easter eggs. So, I mean, I don't credit myself for being smarter than the author in any means. Just was a good read. And so I'm getting back into this book, The Witch Collector. It's my current read right now. I had soft ENF'd it when I went through my book hangover with Onyx Storm. And not for the lack of liking this book. My brain wasn't in it. And now that I'm reading it again and giving it a second chance, I'm finding that I quite like the story. It's a bit of a journey story. Like, there's a lot of traveling in it, so that part can take you out a little bit, but I am enjoying it so far. I think I'm almost halfway with it.
Alrighty, summary time. It is a short one, so let's dive in. So, as Violet has fallen off of Taryn's back, sweet baby angel Andarna uses what's left of her strength to catch Violet on her back and slow her descent. Violet is going in and out of consciousness in excruciating pain from her poison wound, but she's still able to pick up on tidbits of conversation. Xaden orders the gang to fly to a secret destination, insisting they must get her to him, whoever that could be. When they arrive, Violet is sure she hears a familiar voice that she can't quite place. It must be one she hasn't heard in, 6 years. Just a guess. While Violet is unconscious for 3 days, we briefly switch to Xaden's point of view as he finally admits to his feelings for her, at least to the audience. But when Violet finally wakes up, she's happy to see him. But that can't be right. Oh shit, she lost her memories, hasn't she? Nope. Just took her a second to remember. It's okay. And now she's pissed again. But Xaden is not going to give up on her that easily. He is determined to fight for her and earn her trust back. And they start to talk things out when they're interrupted by a surprised guest walking through the door. Welcome to the revolution, Violet.
I'm so excited to hear your thoughts because so many revelations happen in these 2 chapters. Like Xaden's feelings, the surprise guest at the end.
Oof.
How'd you take it all?
Oof.
Especially after the trauma that was the previous 2 chapters.
Oh, yes. Let's just get into it.
Just get into it? Okay.
Let's just get into
I'm
it.
here for it. So chapter 38.
We both had this first one.
It's just the very first line. I think I might die today. With Violet's personal mantra being, I will not die today. To start off this chapter with the exact opposite of that. Like, just such good writing on Rebecca's part. And it's so simple. And I love that she's able to be so succinct with this little callback.
My immediate reaction was, girl, you better not. Like, you see what this says? You see what this says right here? It says, I will not die today. That's you. Not allowed.
Oh, this was a bit of a long one. But it was just, I needed to call out my girl Andarna because she really comes in clutch. So this is as Violet's falling. And it says, shimmering gold rises and ebbs around me. Wind stills. The cries of mayhem and destruction pause. But the burn inside rages on, consuming me with fiery teeth. Time. And Darna has stopped time with what strength she has left. I'm on her back, falling, because she isn't strong enough to carry me, but she's brave enough to fly into this battle. Now my eyes are burning, too. She shouldn't be here. She should be tucked away in the outpost, safe from the wyvern, 3 times her size. So not only did she stop time once, this is the second time she stopped it so she could get to Violet to try to slow her descent. But because she's so little, she can't. And so now they're both falling.
Sweet baby.
Her heart's in the right place and she's so brave for doing this, but because she's a baby, I'm like, stop! Don't do it! Then these next 2 pages, a quick little summary of what happens. Violet is going in and out of consciousness, and we get to pick up on little bits of conversation. So this is a mutual highlight. And it's just talking about the poison on the dagger. It says, poison, the green-tipped dagger. But what poison could paralyze me, not only physically, but magically? And I wanted to know your thoughts on this, because is it the poison that's preventing it, or is it that she's burned out, and that's what's affecting her magic? How is she so certain that it is the poison that's doing this within her body?
That's a good question. Because I guess the reason I had highlighted it was mostly me wondering as well, like, what kind of fucking poison was this that she's not aware of? Because she knows so much about poisons.
That always tickles me. Well, because she says even to, I don't remember if it's here or later, but she talks about being a master on poisons. I'm like, bitch, you had 1 book. What do you mean you're a master on poisons? And because you poisoned a couple people and have some experience under your belt, now you're a master? Okay.
Exactly. But yeah, I didn't really consider the fact, despite the fact that I spent most of last episode complaining about her taking on too much power, the fact that it could be because she took on too much power and is now burned out.
Which are you leaning towards it being?
I'm now leaning towards it's probably the burnout.
Fair, yeah. So then we had 2 instances of lightning on this page. That leaves us at 35 for this section of chapters. That's including 36 and 37. And brings us to 100. And I think that's also the last time we get lightning tracked in the book. But an even 100.
Hell yeah.
Wild.
That is wild. So in our next scene, Violet again is hearing some conversations. And Xaden says, her blood is fucking black. And that's just metal as fuck.
I just saw that note.
That's fucking dope, dude. I mean, probably not because, you know, she's in danger.
Yeah.
But that's metal as fuck.
You would think that.
On the next page, Xaden is telling everyone, we are taking her to this destination. And he says, I don't give a fuck what happens to me. We are going, and that's an order. Xaden has given no orders during this ordeal, during this battle. He was very, he made this decision with his group. He did not order them to stay. They decided to stay. But he's giving orders when it comes to Violet's safety.
I was just going to say, I do wonder, to tag on to what you were saying, if he was giving out orders throughout the battle once everybody, and we just didn't know because Violet wasn't paying attention. Or they weren't Violet related or relevant to the story.
Fair point.
Not to discredit what you were saying at all.
Yes. I like that he did not make the decisions for anyone to stay, but now he's making the decisions. Like, we are going. Violet is in danger. That's an order.
Agreed. And the quote just says, "Live up to your nickname and fight this violence," Xaden whispers against my ear. Then he says louder to someone farther away, "We have to get her to him. We ride." Before you saw the reveal, did you have guesses on who him is?
Sort of.
Okay, explain.
I will say sort of. At this first instance, no. Not specifically that it was Brennan.
Special guest.
Special guest. And I will elaborate on that when we get to the end of when we get to the end.
Okay.
I will elaborate on that further later. So I will just say yes and no.
You had an inkling?
Sort of.
Okay. This is Violet's inner monologue, and she's thinking, maybe it's better if I die, but then Xaden might die. Whatever is wedged between us right now, I don't want him dead. I'll never want that. And I felt like this needed to be highlighted because the sentiment hurts on a multitude of levels. Like, it's sweet, but I also wish that she had wanted to live for herself. I get it's more complex than that because his life is literally tied to her because of the bond with the dragons. But yeah, it's one of those, like, this is kind of toxic, but also, like, they are legitimately, she's in a life or death position right now. And I think it would have been maybe a little bit more empowering if it was like I need to live so that way I can have more time with Xaden or something, you know, like.
Yeah.
I liked it and I didn't.
Valid. What I chose to highlight on this page is even the irony that I'm going to die by poison, something I have unparalleled knowledge of, can't make me muster the energy to speak, to offer any thoughts on an antidote. So first of all, going back to what you said of her, like, you got a lot of confidence in your unparalleled knowledge of poisons, but okay. But also, like, I am so glad that she also notices the irony. And like, also, damn, that would be incredibly frustrating to, while you might not have unparalleled knowledge, to know so much about poisons, except for the one that is currently endangering your life. That would suck.
It's funny because I feel like that happens a lot in life. Like the irony of someone being great about something or like something that they love ends up being what takes them out in the end. I can't think of an example right now, but it does happen a lot, okay. I feel like.
I believe you.
Thank you for believing in me.
I didn't say I believe in you. I said I believe you.
Oh, okay.
I do believe in you.
Well, now I don't believe that.
I just wanted to make the clear distinction.
Why?
I believe in you, yes, but I also believe you.
I mean, I was already believing that you believed both. Now I'm questioning everything. We had a shared note. Oh, it's Imogen stating, "You sure about this?" Garrick snaps, "Stop fucking asking him that. He made his decision. Support him or get the fuck out, Imogen." And I highlighted this because it's funny because it's a reversal of the last scene where Garrick is questioning Xaden about bringing her to special guest and Imogen argues with him. And so I thought it was cool that now Imogen's like, "Are you sure?" And Garrick is instantly fighting with her about it. And also they're fighting, so there's sexual tension between them and I want them to kiss.
No, kiss.
Like, leave this book on a happy ending.
Please, give me just one little sweet treat right at the very end.
Sweet
I
little
appreciate
treat.
it. Just a little kiss. For my notes, I'll put, "Don't yell at my girl, Garrick. That is your wife."
It's your wife.
That is your wife. Because in my head, they are now married.
They haven't even kissed yet. They're
They
already
haven't even
married.
kissed, but they're married.
They share the like 50s twin beds that are next to each other now.
Yes. Yes.
No kiss till after marriage. Stupid. I think we're getting a little loopy.
Get a little loopy.
And then my next note here. So I was confused on how much other people understood of the bond between Taryn, Violet, Xaden, Sigale, and how much they can speak to each other. Like, I thought it was obvious that there was a bond between them because of the mating bond, but it's stated, I think, previously that some writers of mated pairs have the ability. And then it's never stated if other people know that Xaden and Violet have that capacity.
Mm-hmm.
And so it says here, Taryn's roar startles me. Garrick asks, what was that? Xaden replies, he basically said that he'll cook me alive if I fail. Xaden's holding her closer. And I guess that part of the bond is still in place, Violet thinks. And so I'm like, so Xaden responding to Garrick about what Taryn has said, does that now mean other people know that y'all can talk to each other? Since, to my knowledge, that was a secret. Or at the very least, that they know that y'all can talk to each other's dragons. Like, how does this work, Rebecca? How many people know? Clarify.
Yeah, it's never clearly stated whether. Yeah, you're right.
Or maybe just Garrick knows. Garrick is Xaden's best friend, so maybe it's just like a...
Yeah, maybe the inner circle knows.
Yeah, I can see that. That would make sense to me. So this was Xaden's love confession, and I had thoughts about it. It says, you have to fight, Vi. Xaden whispers against my forehead as we move. You can hate me all you want when you wake up. You can scream, hit, throw your fucking daggers at me for all I care, but you have to live. You can't make me fall for you and then die. None of this is worth it without you. He sounds so sincere that I almost believe him. And while this is very sweet, you're finally proclaiming your love. Why'd you do it when you think she can't hear you?
Yeah.
Like she's fading in and out of consciousness. You don't know if she can hear it. Thankfully, she does in this moment.
But we don't know if she's going to remember it.
Yeah, and so I'm just like, you better fucking say it again when she's conscious and fully, like, capable of hearing and acknowledging and then saying her feelings back.
For me, this is kind of a favorite, the last line of it, the none of this is worth it without you. Just, it's that same sentiment of there's no me without you from the previous chapters. But I think it's phrased in a way that is a little healthier. That, like, you're still there, you're still you, but none of this is worth it without you. Just that, like...
You're both worth it, but life would mean less without the other person.
Yeah.
It'd be less brighter.
Hurt more. It's lonelier.
Yeah. Like, even if it's not in a romantic way, just, I think everybody has something to bring to the table in this existence. And yeah, just to restate the same thing, that life is more worth it because you're in it.
Yeah. And our next one on the last page of this chapter is also shared. The Xaden, a familiar voice calls out, but I can't place it. So I have thoughts.
Mm-hmm. And my note is just asking what your thoughts were. So take it away.
Yeah, it's definitely Brennan. So for like, and here's where I will elaborate. While when initially, like they said, we're going to take her to him, I didn't connect like, oh, they're going to take her to Brennan. I had a while ago, I don't know quite how many chapters ago, but I was like kind of thinking about it. I think they were talking about Naelin or something. Because Naelin is the one who like burned out trying to heal Brennan.
And Taryn's previous writer.
Yes. I think that's like they were talking about that situation. That I kind of had this realization of they never really said how Brennan died. And since they just kind of burn everyone, they never had a body. And if there's no body, how do you know for sure someone is dead? I'm like, cool. Yeah. So Brennan's definitely alive. Like that was my little, prediction. My brain went prescription. Like that's not the right word.
Close.
Close. And then this was the point where she hears that familiar voice. And I'm like, yep, that's it. It's Brennan. It's Brennan.
This completely passed me by on my first read. And it was a total shock when he comes in later. And I was just like, and then on a reread with how often he's brought up, I'm just like, she beat me over the head with this and I still didn't see it.
It'd be like that sometimes.
It do. That first read especially, like, all you can be is a passenger princess.
Yeah.
So chapter 39, we get our first and only POV shift. And it's Xaden. And it's just kind of Xaden lamenting Violet's current state. And he faces his feelings a bit.
So right in this first paragraph, it says, in regards to Sigil, she chose me for the scars on my back and the simple fact that I am the grandson of her second writer, the one who didn't make it through the quadrant. We're getting Xaden lore. Tell me more. Mm-hmm. Give me more. Gimme. I am a glutton. I need more.
The tea.
The tea is piping hot today.
This one just hurt my heart, so I wanted to share it. It says, it's been 3 fucking days and Violet hasn't woken up. 3 never-ending days I've spent in this armchair, walking a knife's edge between sanity and madness, studying every rise and fall of her chest just to be sure she's still breathing. My lungs only fill when hers do, and the time between my heartbeats is filled with sharp, all-consuming fear. Like, just cut my heart out already. Damn. Just, I fear the days, if we are blessed enough to live to the ripe old age of any
Being
old
old.
age, yes.
Living into elderliness.
Yeah, I dread that moment of however it ends, having to be that for either my partner or vice versa. I don't want to even think about it.
Yeah, no, I get that, because it's also like not necessarily something that happens when you're old. Like, you could be diagnosed with cancer at any time and watch someone fade away.
I'm trying to think in like good, positive, like if I make it there. But yeah, you're right. It could happen anytime.
And that is unfortunate. See, I apologize. That's one of the things that, like, I have intrusive thoughts about a lot, is having to watch my loved ones, usually typically my partner, die. Yeah. Whew. That's hard.
And she writes it so beautifully. Like, it's so descriptive. Xaden's POV in general is just a lot more purple prosy than Violet's. And I kind of like that, especially because it's not how I generally assume Xaden would think. The first time I read it, I was like, oh, he's so in his feels and he's waxing on poetically. Okay, Xaden.
Right after that, he thinks, she's never looked fragile to me, but she does now. And, like, he has always seen how strong she is. Like, he has always had faith in her and never, like, doubted her capabilities. But now, when he is so worried about her, this is where she looks weak. And it just, it makes me go, oh.
And it almost makes it even more powerful because he doesn't see her as that. And the fact that he can now in this moment, it almost shows how far gone she was, or like how close she was to it, in order for that image to break through how much of a conviction he had in her strength. My next highlight is, I'm a fucking fool. I should have left her at Basgiath. And I find it so interesting that they both blame themselves for so much of everything that's happened. We got a lot of Violet blaming herself as she's like weaving in and out of consciousness, and so then now that he's blaming himself for her being there, it's just like more ways that they are similar.
Kind of going along with Xaden's sentiment here of blaming himself. He also says, Liam, guilt pairs with soul-sucking grief, and I can barely inhale around the pain in my chest. I'd ordered my foster brother to keep her safe, and that order got him killed. His death is on me. And, like, the guilt that he is feeling is so heartbreaking, but, like, dude, you cannot put that on yourself. His death is not on Xaden. Liam would have done that no matter what, because that's who he is, because he's the goodest boy. You can't hold on to that. You can't blame yourself for that. Everybody loves Golden Retriever boy.
True.
Taryn is giving Xaden a talking to. He says, you should have told her about the venom. I waited for you to impart the information, and now she's suffering, Taryn growls. I was like, ooh, Dragon Dad is so pissed at you.
Ooh, you in trouble.
You in trouble. I almost destroyed a Lego pirate ship.
Oh no.
Flailing.
This is an aside. Do you typically leave them unglued and therefore they are precarious and might break if you accidentally move them?
Yeah, they stay the way they are, and unfortunately, they sometimes do get knocked down and ruined, and we will not point fingers at Seamus for jumping on the Lego table and biffing it because he's a fucking oaf and uncoordinated as hell, and he did not knock down like 3 Lego sets. It's fine.
Oh, poor Seamus.
Damn you, Seamus.
Do you have anything else with that highlight?
No, it just made me laugh that Xaden got yelled at. You're in trouble.
My note for this highlight is stupid, but I'm gonna say it anyway. It just says, what I shouldn't have done was fought my feelings for her. I should have grabbed onto her after that first kiss the way I wanted to and kept her at my side. Should have let her all the way in. And I just wrote, and I know that's right. Yes.
Correct.
In my brain, it was said the same way Brittany Broski says it.
Yes, absolutely.
Like with a very heavy southern accent, and I know that's right. Yes, so in the next couple of pages, Violet wakes up and the relief is quickly squashed when Violet's memories become a concern.
So Violet has awoken, and she's still smiling, and she's still happy. She has not remembered what everything happened yet. And a kiss! And Satan thinks that's all it takes for need to flood my system, hot and demanding. It's always like this between us. The slightest spark sets off a wildfire that consumes every thought that isn't related to how many ways I can make her moan. We'll have a lifetime of these moments ahead of us, when I can strip her down to her skin and worship every curve and hollow of her body. And I'm just like, damn, down, boy. Like, she just woke up from being nearly dead, and you already want to jump her bones.
Also, the fact that they're swapping spit and playing tonsil hockey after 3 days of neither of them taking care of themselves sounds nasty. Like, let her brush her teeth.
Oh, I mean, that's valid. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're right.
But also, I appreciate the whole, like, act of being swept up in each other. Like, it's very sweet. But also,
you nasty.
Here's some mouthwash for you, present. I just wanted to know what your thoughts were. I highlighted, has she lost her memories? What were your thoughts on this trope? Because I have specific thoughts about that.
So I was nervous at first that that's the way that they were going. And I'm very relieved that they didn't, because I think that the trope is overdone and it takes agency away from the character, and it diminishes all of that character growth and the experiences that she's had throughout this entire story. Yeah. To just wash that away is really frustrating.
It is not a favorite trope of mine for all of those reasons. Yeah, I think it can be good if it's done well. So this feels like it was just a teaser of it, and then it ended up not happening. But when I first read it, I was like, do not, Rebecca.
I feel that.
And then when it's found out that, oh no, just kidding, it's not happening, I was like, okay.
You thought?
Yeah.
Okay, and then we have another shared one a little bit further down, as Aiden is reminding her of everything that has happened, or as she's remembering what has happened. He tells her, Andarna isn't quite the same, but she's her. And he thinks, she's fucking huge now, but I'm not about to say that to Violet. Her gift is also gone, according to Taryn, but there's plenty of time to share that news. So is she not a baby anymore? If she's super big and she doesn't have her baby power?
Yeah, like, how does that work? If it's only been 3 days, how has she changed that much?
Yeah.
I don't know. Just kidding, I do know, but I'm not saying anything.
I know you know. I don't know. I need to know.
Rebecca!
Rebecca! We're dumb.
So in these next set of pages, Violet remembers and then figures out some truths on her own before asking Xaden to give her some space while she gets ready. So my next highlight here says, I start to tell her, but she holds up a hand and I wait. It only takes her a minute to work it out too. And I just think it's so funny. Like, she wants him to tell her truths, but as soon as he tries, like, no, because this is a mystery and I want to solve it. I'm like, which is it? You can't have both. Either you want him to tell you the truth or you don't, and you're in for the surprise of it all. Mm-hmm. Pick one. This isn't a choose your adventure. So this is a shared highlight. And it says, I can't help it. I smile. This brilliant fucking woman is mine. Or was mine. Will be mine again if I have anything to say about it. Which I probably don't. I sigh, losing the smile immediately. Fuck. No, I'm not giving up until she tells me to. Things might be complicated, but so are both of us. My note here was, love a man who will respectfully fight for his woman, but knows when to stop. Like, there are boundaries, but relationships are work. And if you don't fight for them, do you even care? Maybe I just want to be fought for. But either way.
I'll fight for you. I'm not letting you walk away from me.
That's why we're friends forever.
Bitch. Forever. Ever.
But relationships are work. And
They are.
The way he's willing to put in that work, I applaud. Because I think so easily people can be like, love should be easy. And to a certain extent, I think that can be true. But nothing in life is easy. Sometimes the best things in life you have to work the hardest for. and are free.
Okay, cool.
Sometimes the best things in life are free and you have to work for it. For free. You have to give out free labor? Is that what we're trying to promote on this podcast?
For legal reasons, that was a joke.
That was a joke.
Please don't arrest me.
Don't say it as you shimmy. You're like, don't arrest me.
Don't arrest me. That is...
We just talked about you doing that.
You shouldn't have put it with an arm flailing distance.
We should really stop calling out what you're going to do in the next 5 minutes, because that's happened like twice now on this podcast where we foreshadowed you breaking or hitting something or doing something. It's almost like we subconsciously put it into your brain because we talk about it, and then just like you can't not do this.
I have demons, and the demons require me to do things. Yes. And sometimes they take control. And to be fair, I didn't like knock the pirate ship over. I just knocked off a small piece off the top of the pirate ship.
So these next 2 pages, Xaden is met by Garrick and Bodhi outside of his room when Violet opens the door, ready to talk. This one's a shared highlight.
Yeesh.
And I just wanted to get your thoughts on it. Xaden's talking to Garrick. You figure out what that box was that Crod was drawn to back at Resin, I ask. Garrick's dragon is remarkably sensitive to runes, which allowed them to locate and retrieve the small iron box beneath the rubble of the clock tower. Thoughts on what the runed box is?
I don't know. And it's upsetting me. I assume that it's something that's going to aid them, and it's something that the Venin really wanted. It's gotta be very powerful. So is it like a weapon? I don't know, and I need to know.
So here, as Violet comes out, Bodhi takes his exit. He's like, I'll fetch the backup plan. And then says, good luck. I just wrote, insert the what do you mean meme of Jennifer Lawrence on Hot Ones. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Backup plan?
What's this backup plan? Tell me.
Of course, we now know after reading the backup plan. But in the moment, I always forget because I'm so lost in like, oh, they're finally going to like talk. They're both clean now. They're going to confess love.
They're no longer stanky.
Yeah, and just... it completely overrides any other senses when reading the rest. I'm just like, get to the smut and the kissing and the loving again. And so I think I just forget that, like, oh yeah, that's going to happen here soon. Then these next and last 2 sets of pages says, Xaden admits falling for her and announces that he'll fight for them. But reconciliation is interrupted by Violet's once thought long dead Brother Brennan entering the room and welcoming Violet to the revolution. So my highlight here is Violet admitting, essentially, a point of pride for her, and I thought it was growth. But the highlight states, it's not even that you kept this from me. I get it. It's the ease with which you did it. The ease with which I let you into my heart and didn't get the same in return. She shakes her head, and I see it there. The love, but it's masked behind defenses I foolishly forced her to build. And this was such like a moment, I feel like a vulnerable moment for Violet to admit that it was a point of pride for her, and that's why she's most upset, essentially, like boiling it down to its like base elements. And I was proud of her in that moment.
Yeah, in the admitting like, I get it. I get why you kept this from me. However, fuck you.
Yeah. Fuck you because I was stupid.
Fuck you because I loved you and you didn't love me back the way I wanted you to. Xaden thinks I love her. Of course I love her. But if I tell her now, she'll think I'm saying it for all the wrong reasons. And honestly, she'd be right. I'm not going to lose the only woman I've ever fallen for without a fight. Damn right, boy. You damn right. Hell yeah.
And that's why we love him. And this is our very last one of the book. But Violet lifts her chin in defiance. Drink up, Book Baddie. I almost did that too.
I had to.
I almost did.
Because of the straw. I just, every time it makes me...
Yeah.
Ugh. Okay, so my next highlight, Xaden says to Violet, you might not trust me anymore, but you still love me. And this irked me a little bit. Love isn't enough. Like, trust is just as, if not more, important. Because I have been in relationships where I loved someone very much, but I did not trust them. And it is what destroyed that relationship. So, boy, you're gonna have to work hard to earn that trust back.
The next note is me just being proud that Xaden is taking responsibility in this moment. The quote says, "I fucked up by not telling you sooner, and I won't even try to justify my reasons. But now I'm trusting you with my life, with everyone's lives." And I was like, take responsibility, King. Okay. This is a start.
Yes. Good first move. My next one is more Xaden lore that I need elaboration on. So it starts, "I'd forgotten what it felt like to be loved. Really, truly loved. It'd been so many years since Dad died. And Mom not going there. What happened? Tell me, please. Give it to me. I'm a greedy little lore gremlin. Give me.
I like lore gremlin. Alrighty. So my next highlight here is just Xaden knowing Violet and expressing how well he knows her. It says, "It's time she knew everything. Knowing Violet, she won't stay tucked away, safe behind Basgiath's walls. Especially not now that she knows just how corrupt those walls are. She'll fight this war at my side." And I love, even though she feels like she doesn't know him, even though she does in some regard, he knows her so well. Like, despite him not having been truthful, he was listening. He was watching. And it just...
He will learning and taking notes.
Yeah, he's like, "I have a diary of Violet, and I know everything."
I've been watching you.
It's just sitting there in the corner. We made him into a creep.
Yeah. So Violet says, "I'm still hoping that missive at Athbean was really about the war games. Do you think there's any chance we just happened to end up in the middle of a wyvern attack at that outpost? That definitely wasn't an accident, little sister." Ooh, I knew it. I knew it. I called it and I knew it.
My note here was, does it have something to do with the box? I think Colonel Atos has some explaining to do.
Yes, he do. Yes, he do. Because, yeah, that was not no accident.
But Xaden says, "Told you I knew better poison masters." I tell her softly, "You weren't healed. You were mended." And just all the times that, like, if we think back to the beginning of this book, like when they first sparred on the mat after figuring out that she was poisoning people, and he says this line of, like, "I knew better poison masters." And then also on the parapet when they're doing the whole, like, banter of back and forth of, "Your mother captured my father. Well, your father killed my brother." And she's like, "So I think we're even." And he's like, "Hardly." Because he knew that Brennan's been alive this whole fucking time.
The whole time. The whole time. The whole time.
Yes. It's one of those things where when you reread, knowing now that Brennan is alive, all the little tasty crumbs and tidbits and morsels that were left behind, it's definitely there. And seeing it on a reread is delicious.
I'm so excited. Okie dokie. Let's get to our favorites. Have the first one.
And the only one for 38.
Oh, shoot. You're right. And it's kind of one that we already said, but it's fine. So, Taryn roars at Xaden, and Xaden says, "He basically said that he'll cook me alive if I fail." And I just love that sassy dragon dad is still sassy, even when he's scared for Violet. Stop. That's funny. I love you. But also, I absolutely believe that he would roast him.
Oh, yeah.
Quite literally.
If it wouldn't hurt Sigale, he probably would have done it already.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Chapter 39.
And it's also one that we have already said in the context of something else we were talking about. I just really love the writing here. It's not even I'm not even going to give the full sentence. It's like a part of the sentence, but walking a knife's edge between sanity and madness. I just love that. Oh, I love the imagery of it. That's damn good writing right there.
Honestly, it was this whole damn paragraph, but I just shortened it because read it. It's perfection. But Xaden says, "She can't die. And not just because there's a chance I won't survive. She can't die because I know I can't live without her, even if I do." Then the next favorite I had was just him calling her miraculous. And she's like, "What is?" He's like, You are miraculous." My heart. So cute.
I have the same kind of reaction to this next one, where Xaden thinks Gods, I'd kiss her forever if I thought it would keep the coming argument at bay. Keep us in this one pristine moment where I can actually believe that everything might be all right between us. That I haven't irrevocably fucked up the best thing that's ever happened to me. It just touches my heart. Like,
I was just gonna say, I think it's a little like it's him pushing off the inevitable. It's heartbreaking. I don't see it necessarily as sweet.
I think it's a little bit of both. It's like bittersweet.
Yeah.
Because yes, he is trying to like, I don't want to get into this. Like, I just want to hold on to this moment. But like that acknowledgement of like, I fucked this up so bad and she is the best thing that's ever happened to me is just really sweet.
Yeah.
Like, it touches my heart in multiple places for multiple reasons.
So then a mutual favorite here is just the way he calls her brilliant fucking woman. I just love how in awe he is of her intelligence, and he never seems to underestimate her, and I eat this shit up. That's so
Same. Okay, and then our next shared one is a back and forth exchange between Bodhi and Xaden. Bodhi wrinkles his nose. What? You smell like dragon ass. Fuck off. I chance a whiff and can't argue. I'm using your room. I would consider it a personal favor. I extend my middle finger and head toward his room.
Bodhi's got jokes.
I love it. Bodhi, I see you. I like you. You're growing on me. Mm-hmm. Not that I didn't like you before. I just didn't feel like we haven't really gotten that much of a chance to know you.
This is our first time seeing his personality, and it's wonderful.
I love it.
It's so good. So the quote is, I'm not afraid of hard work, especially not when I know just how sweet the rewards are. I would rather lose this entire war than live without you. And if that means I have to prove myself over and over, then I'll do it. You gave me your heart, and I'm keeping it. She already owns mine, even if she doesn't realize it. Damn. My note is just like a lot of little like lines. And then I put, this is my heartbeat flatline.
Yes. Oh, specifically when he says, you gave me your heart and I'm keeping it. Just like
the callback, because he said that to her before. Or like, I don't deserve you, but I'm going to keep you all the same.
Again, I love the trope of like, I'm going to keep you. You're important to me. I'm going to keep you around.
And end us out.
The last favorite, the very last line of this book. Brennan says, welcome to the revolution, Violet. And my brain just went, yes! Revolution.
So now that we've finished the majority of the book, especially ending on that line, does it give you thoughts as to where the second book could be headed?
I'm torn because part of me, because they just essentially like betrayed Navarre, or at least they've betrayed Colonel Atos. They have proved where their loyalties are, according to the missive. It makes me wonder, it makes me feel like, okay, maybe they're not going back to Basgaeth. Maybe they're just going to stay here at this revolution's headquarters and like fight it out through here. But I think it's more logical, to me, that they do end up going back to Basgaeth. And I don't know if that's just because you started at year 1 at the War College, so now you have to go to year 2. Kind of my brain being weird.
Hogwarts and how they always end up going back no matter what big traumas happen at the school.
Yeah, essentially. But yeah, and that makes me curious how they will get around that. And it makes me wonder, especially since Xaden is near graduation anyway, like he wouldn't really be going back for another year. But I could also, like, if they were to go back so that he could officially graduate, I could see them essentially letting in all of the other, like, cadets, everyone who would still be there, and just leaving it on, like, just putting the blame on Xaden and letting him take the repercussions. Because, I mean, they kind of already did that before.
He's an easy scapegoat for them because of his father.
So I could see it kind of being that way of, like, Violet gets a pass, but Xaden doesn't. But yeah, I am hoping we better get a lot more lore drops. I need to know what's going on. I want to know about the fables. I want to know about the rebellion relics. I want to know about the rebellion. I want to know about the revolution. Give me answers, please.
So, out of curiosity, I don't know if you rate what you read, but do you have an overall rating for this book as it is before we get into bonus content later?
I don't typically rate books, but I would say for this book, I will give it like a 4.5. And the only reason I wouldn't give it a 5 would be like, as much as I really, really enjoyed this book, I really loved it. I didn't like become obsessed with it. It didn't become, my autistic brain didn't like connect with it in that way. Of that, just like, what's the word I'm looking for?
It didn't get its
It
hooks
hasn't
in you?
overtaken my brain and like my focus. I haven't hyper fixated on it.
Do you think a lot of that is hindered by the stopping and starting process of the podcast?
I don't know, which is why I'm excited to read through it again, before we start Iron Flame, hopefully, fingers crossed if I have time, and read it just like beginning to end, without taking breaks from it, to see if it changes that for me.
The podcast updated, like if you do end up doing that, if you feel like it changes your opinion at all. Alrighty, shall we get into our songs?
Yes.
So chapter 38, I picked Sand by Dove Cameron. This just feels like it encapsulates Violet being unsure of where she stands with Satan amidst her going in and out of consciousness. And the song, it has this ethereal melancholy to it that fades in and out with this like dramatic piano that feels like, you know, losing consciousness on the back of a dragon, I imagine. Not that I've ever been on a dragon, but, you know. The standout lyrics I had for this song is, what's worse, hearing what you want to hear or hearing what's honest? Our love's misaligned because you're on my mind every night. I ignore the signs, and I don't know why, because baby, I saw the end when we began. You couldn't love the way I can. I tried to bargain with the stars for more than half your heart. But you have more pieces of me than the desert has sand. And I have less pieces of you than I can hold in my hand.
Oof, that one hits.
Mm-hmm. It's such a good song and fits so well.
Yeah. For this chapter, I chose Happy Anniversary by Motion City Soundtrack because it very much reminds me of Violet's like inner monologue as she's fading in and out of consciousness, because she's very like resigned that she may die, or maybe it's better that she's dying, that like, and she's kind of been that way the whole battle, kind of half convinced that this is the end for her. And so some of the lyrics that stood out to me are, I can feel it in my bones tonight. Drain me slowly of the will to fight. Take me in your arms and hold me tight, because I won't be here for long, my dear. Just in general, just a very sad song, because I'm pretty sure it's about, like, I picture it as, like, an elderly couple, I guess, but, like, one of them dying. Because, like, the last line of the song is, this will be our last happy anniversary. Anyway, you're gonna have to listen to it. It's a good song. It's one of my favorite songs by Motion City Soundtrack.
Alrighty, so chapter 39.
Noticed what song you chose!
I have a little bit of a aside that's related to this, but yes. I picked Meet You There by Busted. And if you know Casper and I at all, growing up, we were obsessed with Busted and McFly. Both very British, like pop punk bands.
In the early 2000s.
So, an aside before I get into it, have you heard of the band President?
Oh, it sounds familiar.
They're very new, but they're very sleep token coded in that the members of the band are masked the entire time. But a lot of people have been theorizing that the lead singer is Charlie Simpson.
Yeah.
From Busted. And he also recently was on, I think, a season of The Masked Singer. He was like a rhino.
I think I saw that, yeah. Like, also the fact that, like, Charlie Simpson has had some level of fame in the U.S., like, on his own. I don't know why, but just surprises me.
He was always my favorite.
Oh, I know.
Him and his slug-like
eyebrows. Get out to my garage.
Get out to my garage. You're a fucking gonk.
What the fuck is a gonk? You know? It's one of those things. It's like a toilet tube. Toilet paper tube with eyes stuck on.
Toilet paper tube. I was trying to quote this at Dan, and he was like,
oh, God. I don't know where we found this video. We just... at that point in our lives, I know I specifically at least spent so much time on YouTube, like looking up interviews and things of McFly, early YouTube, looking up like all the like interviews I could find of McFly and Busted, and this is one that I found. Just British shows are so fucking weird and funny to me. I love them. And so, yeah, it was some sort of, like, I think it was like a talk show, and it was like a bit that they, like, the dude did. But yeah, it was fucking weird. Oh god, I need to watch this again. Oh god.
It makes me sick
I have to
carrots.
Watch this. It makes me sick carrots.
If something we have quoted
Get off my guitar.
for way too long. That's my guitar.
That's my guitar. You're Howie from Take That.
We know way too much of this interview.
Yeah, because we would watch that video over and over again, because A, we're fucking weird, and B, it was fucking weird, and for some reason, just hilarious. Yeah.
Tickled our funny bones, that's for sure.
No one is gonna understand what the fuck we're talking about, and if you do, if somehow
you're a real one.
You are a real one, please let me know.
But you should look up President and listen to, I think they've got 1 or 2 songs out, but it sounds exactly like Charlie. And so I think people might be spot on with that one.
Did you ever listen to Fight Star?
Yeah.
No, I loved Fight Star too.
Okay. Meet You There by Busted. So this is Xaden's turmoil and regret over everything he's done as he reflects over their relationship and hope for a future with Violet, no matter how far off that feels. Some lyrics that were kind of stand out were, I'm waiting for the perfect time to call you back. Or tell the truth. Because I remember saying, I don't want to know the truth, can't handle that. Or, I can't accept the truth of my feelings for Violet. And I tried to just forget you, but I don't know how. This is like clear back at the beginning of the relationship, I feel like. If
I'm
only
just this in my head
I know
right
I
now.
can tell. If only I knew. It's written all over your face. Such a painful thing to waste. Tell me now, where do we go? Now the future's not so clear. I can't believe we've ended here. Where's the world that doesn't care? Maybe I can meet you there.
I'm not gonna lie, this may have just like reignited. I might be just listening to nothing but Busted and McFly for the next several days.
You're welcome. I couldn't find on Spotify, but there's a version that they did live on YouTube, like at Abbey Road, I think, that I like. It's slightly different because Matt's also singing in it, and I think in the original, it's mostly just
it was
James and Charlie. That one's nice because it's a bit slower. It's an acoustic, the piano and guitar, and then all 3 of them sing in it. I like that image. That's the one I think of when I'm thinking of this scene because it's a bit slower. The original is a bit more pop punk, so it's got more pep in its step. But yeah, if you can't find the Abbey Road one, pick the original because I don't like the newer versions of the song.
Yeah, we'll do. You know I will. Also, I would just like to take this. No, we don't need to. I don't need to go on a Busted rant. I don't need to go on a Busted Jonas Brothers rant. I don't need
to the year 3000.
Don't need to talk about the year 3000. We don't need to talk about it. Anyway, the song I chose was. I almost knocked the fucking Pirates over again. What is wrong with me? The song I chose is I Don't Like Who I Was Then by the Wonder Years. And for me, it's very much like Xaden telling Violet that he's going to earn her trust back and that he's not giving up on her. And so the lyrics that stood out to me were, I think I'm growing into someone you could trust. I want to shoulder the weight till my back breaks. I want to run till my lungs give up. Put my past self in the ground. I've been dancing on the grave. I'm not the person that I was then. I'm tearing him away. You deserve more from me, and I'm trying every day. Also, listen to the Wonder Years. I fucking love them. God, they're so good.
I know you've talked about them, but I don't know if I've ever actually heard anything of theirs.
I can give you my favorite albums, which actually the album this song is from is my favorite album.
Alrighty, let's end this episode.
For the love of God. Yes. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this week's episode.
We're so excited to be on this journey with you.
Haven't had enough of us yet? Join us next week for our bonus chapter episode. Need help on where to find them? All 3 bonus chapters are listed for free on Rebecca Yarros' website or at the back of the US paperback. So stay tuned.
Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Bound to Be Bad Podcast.
And while you're at it, please be sure to leave a lovely little love note while rating and reviewing us on Audible or Apple Podcasts. It not only helps us grow, but it plays a huge part in the growth of any podcast that you listen to. So share the love.
Know a fellow book baddie who can't get enough of the Empyrean series either? Share us with a friend to give them something to hold on to till the next book release, because who knows when that will be.
Till then, we'll be here, and we hope to see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.